So thanks everybody for the time on the call. I appreciate everybody's time in this interesting time we live in. So I thought IT resilience is kind of a very, very telling kind of situation to go through right now from the IT as well. But let's start pretty quickly here about, I think what's the most important facet of our jobs in IT really is protecting the mission critical applications and ensuring that we're never down. We got to make sure these critical applications are available to the business. It's not a, best effort anymore. It's just, it has to be always available type thing. So with that said, there are what we call the bad, or I call the unplanned disruptions, and there's the good or the planned disruptions. So, the unplanned are going to be things that we're all familiar with as far as natural disasters and ransomware. But what about the good planned? We need to be evaluating new technology initiatives, like moving to the cloud that we're going to talk about. So I think we need to be able to be protected in both of these, planned and unplanned. And that's what we call IT resilience. Business needs to be constantly protecting everything they're doing, not just from a typical disruption, but from a planned event. That should not affect anything to do with the business's, overall kind of, business revenue producing portion as well. So real quickly, what is Zerto? We are a truly agnostic software only platform, pretty much the only one in the world that's agnostic, right? At its foundation, we are a continuous disaster recovery, DR platform, long-term retention, and gives the ability to go to a hybrid cloud, right? This is all completely orchestrated as well. And on top of that, kind of all wrapped in together, is providing analytics and control access across facets. Because in this world, what's happening is there's kind of a change happening to where people are backing things up, people are doing a DR tool. What's happening is there's a convergence happening. People are requiring higher levels of RTOs across the board, and they want to not have a separate backup tool as well. And they want to be able to manage that in a completely orchestrated fashion as well. So for the past 12 years, I would say that our 4 key points and who we are as a company is we are a hypervisor-based replication. We're agentless. We want to ensure that you guys have a continuous availability. But 10 years ago, we invented what's called journal-based technology, allowing you to recover and resume any point in time. This is a huge deal with ransomware. Unfortunately, we don't recover with best effort. You want to recover right back within 5 seconds back of granularity and then recover your entire application. We'll talk about application consistency, but this is something that we did 10 years ago as well. We don't just move the virtual machine. You're moving the virtual machine as an application to provide right order fidelity. And simplicity is where what's about. It's not just us. Our platform only service is very scalable for deployment, for uses, and it's got built-in orchestration as well. So kind of real quickly, what do we do? Back in 2008, we revolutionized the world of replication. And we moved replication into the hypervisor layer. So this removes any lock-in from any on-prem equipment that any storage you want to use, any hypervisor you want to use, any lock-in as well, right? You're not doing LUN consistency, no matching. And as well as this is going to be non-impact production testing. So again, if you're getting ready to set up a DR in the cloud, or you're moving more on-prem, and we're moving everything up into Azure, this is all about hypervisor-based replication, right? We started out about 11 years ago. We've been doing our basis is who we are as a company. So from an architecture standpoint, this is a very, very simple software-only design. So whether you're going from an on-prem to an on-prem, or we're talking about on-prem to Microsoft Azure, basically it's 2 simple pieces, right? You got a Zero Virtual Manager, that is your link into your vCenter. And then the virtual replication appliances handle replication and compression up into Azure, right? The replication disks, they're stored in page blobs, and the journal disks are stored in, in block blobs as well. So what this allows you to do is, this allows you to very seamlessly and very quickly set up a DR up into Azure very quickly and test and validate that as it works well. And then fail it back out, and then get it recalibrated, and then fail it right back into Azure, right? So this is a you decide how quickly you want to put this up into Azure, right? And it's 1 to many. So per VM, we are a 1 to 3 license. So you can replicate in parallel to 3 different locations up into Azure, and one over into your on-premise as well. So we talked a little bit earlier about application consistency. We need to solve for the challenge of recovering enterprise applications. You got to protect your VMs in a logical, cohesive way. So I would say 8 years ago, Zerto created this by deploying what we call application consistent grouping. So like I said before, all your virtual machines in that application will sail the same exact recovery points, right? So no matter where your VMs are located, in your data center or in your cloud, we create right order fidelity for those, bringing those up in an absolutely consistent fashion. This is all done through our continuous data protection and not through a snapshot kind of technology as well. So lastly, what I'll say is, the IT leaders need to prove, it's great that anybody can replicate, and it's great, but you got to be able to prove the replication and the disaster recovery was provable. You want to prove they created IT resilience in the most mission critical applications. So the built-in application, analytics and reporting, ensure that all your SLAs are met, right? Some of the largest global customers are using this reporting mechanism to actually hand over to their compliance department as to prove an audit. So I thought it was kind of important to kind of put together a real quick, one of the many, we are Azure's largest global partner for specifically what we do for continuous data replication to Azure. And on this one specifically was a very large global financial firm that was looking to do a hybrid cloud strategy with the best of VMware and Microsoft Azure. Obviously, they wanted to reduce the cost and complexity, and they wanted to minimize the business impact and downtime, right? But they also had to improve recovery and compliance, right? So this was about using Azure as a disaster recovery and separate data center as well. So what was the solution, right? Well, what happened was we removed the need for a secondary DR site by using Azure as a target, right? Because we're hypervisor based and we're agnostic replication, we gave them the ability to send these things up to Azure very, very quickly, right? So we're 1 to 3, so they were one on-prem, second on-prem, the second to Azure as well. We reduced the downtime from RPOs from seconds, 20 seconds to RPOs. This is the world's fastest replication recovery engine to Azure to date. We're doing this on a continuous protection model, agentless. We're not doing snapshots as well, right? And again, this provides complete automated recovery, right? So you're doing continuous block replication, and then on the fly, we are converting this from the lower blob storage up to the operational tier within Azure, right? So this is a completely orchestrated event, fail in and out, and it allows you to recover back within 5 seconds of any issue to recover back fully, right? And again, this is no impact failover testing to Azure with just 4 clicks. And this is something that we are doing on a regular basis with Azure to help customers test and validate Azure much more quickly and put all their mission critical applications up there without having to worry about refactoring and things like that. This is more of a foolproof way to get your DR and or your production applications up into Azure without having to worrying about anything as far as a risk as that's concerned. So I think I kind of went through kind of quick, but that's really all I've got.